the honorable judges, mentors, our greatest finalists, and fellow friends. I'm Aisha and this is my partner Fatin. Today I will be presenting our original short story entitled The Greedy Man. Before I dive into the analysis of our story, in front of the judges is the copy of our short story. We also came up and designed the cover ourselves. Now, let me briefly explain the synopsis of our story. The Greedy Man is about a poor man who moved to the city to find a job to support his family, but then loses track and becomes more greedy and self-centered with more money he has. At the end, he loses everything important because of his selfish decisions. Shown on the screen here is the beginning part of our story. I will be reading the first and second chapters for story. Chapter 1. Bill's Past. In the countryside of America, there lived a man named Bill. Bill lived in a small cottage with his wife, Cassandra. Bill and Cassandra always had a finance problem and could barely afford dinner for two. Finding a sustainable job was not easy, especially in the countryside. The couples could only grow vegetables in their garden and sell them off at the night market every Friday, which was never enough to make a living out of. Bill and Cassandra would argue over their financial problem almost every day. He feels very guilty he couldn't make his wife live comfortably, and it wasn't good for the both of them to argue every day. They needed to come up with a solution to their money problem. Cassandra suggested Bill to find a job in New York City. Bill was hesitative at first, but looking at the situation that they're in, he knew he doesn't have that much of a choice. He knew he couldn't lose the opportunity. Chapter 2. Bill moves to New York. Bill and Cassandra used up every dime that they had left to transport Bill to New York. They said their goodbyes, then Bill took off to the Big Apple. When he arrived in the city, he met a man that goes by the name Jimmy. Jimmy had big dreams to own a huge, successful company and was in search for a man who knew a thing or two about business and investment. Bill used to study business during college before he dropped out to care for his sick mother. With Bill's business knowledge and Jimmy's investors, they both joined forces and made a bank company. They were struggling at first, but looking at the situation that they are in, he knew he should take the job. They started off with investing in ads and seeking clients with huge connections to grow more customers to their bank. Not too long later, their little bank started getting way more clients than they could ever expect, and even needed to hire a huge team to keep the bank sustained. The bank only kept growing at a fast rate, and by the time a decade had passed, it had become a multi-billion-dollar company. Bill was filthy rich. He had everything he ever dreamt of. He had several servants at his feet at all times, and never bothered to look at the letters sent by his wife from the countryside. So those were the excerpts of our story. Now, let me explain the themes and characters of our story. The Greedy Man is about a story that explores the themes of greed, ambition, and selfishness. The readers will read the rise and fall of an ambitious man who is influenced by the power of money. The main characters of our story are Bill and his wife Cassandra. Bill, he used to be a loving and caring husband who would always prioritize his wife. But the wealthier he got, he changed into a greedy and selfish man. However, Cassandra is a loving and supporting wife. But throughout the story, we can see that unlike her husband, she is a humble-looking woman. You guys must be wondering, what inspired us to write this story? We were inspired to write these stories from Western celebrities who got facial surgeries such as lip fillers and Botox and completely changed their appearance, ruining their natural beauty out of fame. So, from fame and beauty, we changed the plot to greed and wealth. From this story, we are trying to send a message how wealth can ruin a meaningful relationship between you and your loved ones. Always remember not to let your desire blind you from what really matters. We would also like to highlight how self-control is vital in pursuing your dreams, because you can get out of control and prioritize the wrong things. And that's all from us. Thank you for lending us your ears and thanks for your time.
Good evening.